Interventions must dismantle the systemic barriers that marginalize women and girls and perpetuate inequality in the global economy. In South Africa, we are working to shift economic power into the hands of women through a number of initiatives, and one of those that are really key is earmarking 40% of all public procurement for women-owned businesses. And as we speak, a lot of training is ongoing for women to be able to take up this important opportunity that will change their lives in many ways. On the African continent, we are working towards adopting a protocol and program of action on women in trade to promote the participation of women in the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is a free trade area that came into operation the 1st of January of this year. We are working to ensure access for women to productive resources through financial inclusion, an area that women have always been excluded from. Because lack of access to financial services and products disproportionately affects poorer women working in the informal sector, particularly those without income and those who are illiterate. Lack of access to financial resources increases vulnerability to economic shocks and may, in some cases, even increase exposure to gender-based violence. Innovation in digital financial services in Africa offers an opportunity for rapid scale-up of financial services and products that can be made available to women. We're working in partnership with Queen Maxima, the UN Secretary General Special Advocate on Financial Inclusion. We are committed to establishing the Advocacy Accelerator for Women's Digital Financial Inclusion on the African continent. This initiative will mobilize stakeholders to invest in new platforms and products to increase access to digital financial products and services for women on the African continent. Now, much of what we are doing, particularly in South Africa, is inspired by one of the pioneers of women's empowerment in South Africa, who is called Charlotte Maxeke. And Charlotte Maxeke was one of the leading women, particularly in our struggle against apartheid. And we are launching the Charlotte Maxeke Women's Initiative on Economic Justice and Rights. This will involve collaborative projects to increase opportunities for women and girls in areas of entrepreneurship, of leadership, as well as diplomacy. Through these efforts, through this global acceleration plan, we are moving ever closer to realizing our goal of economic justice and rights for women. This is an area that we are determined to work effectively around, because we want to make sure that the exclusion of women and girls in economic activity becomes history. They deserve to be at the forefront of economic inclusion and economic activity in more ways than one. I would like to say that the era of women to participate meaningfully in the economies of their countries is now. And all of us must work together to ensure that this dream that the women of our various countries have is truly realized. My sister Winnie, I thank you for this opportunity, and I hope through this I've answered your question in some ways. Thank you very much.
Your, your comments touch the heart of the matter, that the weakness of women in our economies is wired in the structures of the economy and in society. And unless systemic barriers are tackled, women's inequality in the economy remains. Thank you for raising, for your commitment. Giving women affirmative action in the economy through public procurement is powerful. It works. And maybe I'm going to ask for a South African passport and learn business skills and come to get an opportunity myself. But it's a powerful tool you're using. Public policy empower women. Thank you for the commitments. There are women in in the Africa Free Trade area and financial inclusion that touches at the heart of women's ability to run businesses and to protect themselves from economic and other shocks, and including gender-based violence. Before that, we have had a good contribution from a global women's grassroots organization making commitments to